Before I welcome the chief up to discuss the officer-involved shooting, I would like to address the community and the ongoing increase we have seen over the last few weeks in violent crime. This weekend marks our 14th homicide in the city. The people of Pueblo elected me to make changes, especially when it comes to public safety. I want you to know that my administration and my officers are doing the very best job we can for you. The reality is, with the low level of staffing we have been facing for the last few years, the disastrous legislation that has plagued our community, our department is struggling. Yes, we have taken significant steps to hire, recruit, and retain, but quite frankly, that is not enough. I have passed ordinances and issued executive orders. Our department is still 46 officers shy of full and are still working to address the issues. I can tell you what doesn't help, the catch and release program we do daily. As you know, last Wednesday, we had a several-hour standoff with an individual who was menacing with a machete on the south side of town, who was breaking property and threatening police with a knife. That individual, as of at least Saturday night, was released from jail and at my restaurant demanding to speak to the mayor, which means he was not even locked up for a week for felony menacing, restraining order violation, and criminal mischief. While this might sound like I'm seeking your sympathy, what I'm simply pointing out is the broken down system we have in the justice system to emphasize to you how broken things are. The Pueblo Police Department's time was completely wasted with that 8-hour standoff to have the man released and back on the streets a couple days later. The legislation that allows for individuals to be out menacing, shooting stolen guns with felonies like the officer-involved shooting, and enacting deadly force upon my community has to be overturned and cleaned up, and yet I cannot do this alone. At what point is enough? At what point do we ask our district attorney's office, judges, and our legislators to stop this madness? When are we going to demand more? Today is when I am asking my fellow Puebloans to demand more, which includes harsher sentencing, legislation which allows for it, and a commitment to push for a more collaborative effort. I need help from local and state legislators. I need help from all of you. While the officer-involved shooting is tragic, not only for the man who was shot, but it continues to take a toll on our dispatchers and officers. We can no longer accept this tragedy in our community. The emotional and physical challenges my police department faces do not go unnoticed, not for me or the majority of our city. I am grateful for your professionalism, protection, kindness, commitment, and strength. I acknowledge my officers' daily hardship of being cops, and I ask you to do the same. To my community, as we work towards making Pueblo a safer place to live, please know I hear you, and I see you all, and we are working hard to make significant improvements in this city. I'll leave you with this quote. Remember, we pay the police to do the work we are too afraid of, too unskilled, too uncivilized to do ourselves. We expect them to keep the bad guys out of our businesses, out of our cars, and out of our houses. And in doing so, let's make sure we keep them in our hearts. Thank you for joining us today to view this footage and to hear from myself and Chief Knoller. While we remain committed to this level of transparency, I do not hope to see any of you soon for this same topic. I look forward to sharing more positive news with my fellow Puebloans. We want to be connected, respected, and protected. Thank you.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Thank you all for being here today. We're here to release body-worn video, in-car camera video, and other information from the officer-involved shooting incident that occurred on June 19th, 2024 in the 1500 block of West US Highway 50. We made the decision to release the video in this officer-involved shooting, deviating from our former position on the release of videos because of the inaccurate and defamatory remarks being made regarding the brave actions of our officers and their response to a clear threat. As you will see shortly in the video, on June 19th at approximately 7:46 p.m., dispatch received a call reporting that at 1425 West US Highway 50, 3 males in a black Dodge were pointing a black and white gun out the driver's side window. The reporting party stated this occurred near McAllister's Deli. The reporting party provided a license plate, which registered to the suspect in this case, Ronald Valdez. In addition to the license plate information, the reporting party provided detailed and accurate identification information about what potential suspects were wearing and how many individuals were originally involved. Several officers responded to the scene, the first officer arriving in less than 6 minutes. Pueblo Police Department officers searched the area and found the vehicle with the license plate number provided by the reporting party, parked on the east side of Popeye's Chicken, approximately 500 feet away from where the call was initially reported. Our officers contacted the occupant of the vehicle who was sitting in the car with the tinted windows rolled up, refusing to obey commands given by our officers. Pueblo Police Department officers gave more than 10 commands to the occupant of the vehicle to show his hands or that he would be fired upon. He was non-compliant. Instead of doing as he was directed, Mr. Valdez raised a gun toward one of our officers and fired 6 times through the front windshield, narrowly missing one of our officers. Our officers did what I expect them to do in these circumstances and returned fire on Mr. Valdez. Mr. Valdez ultimately succumbed to his injuries. The Pueblo County Sheriff's Office is handling the investigation per the 10th Judicial District Critical Incident Response Protocol. I have been informed that during their investigation, they conducted a search of Mr. Valdez's vehicle, which revealed a stolen Taurus G2 handgun and 6 shell casings along with drug smoking paraphernalia consistent with the smoking of fentanyl or opioids. This type of event is certainly tragic to the family and friends of Mr. Valdez, along with the Pueblo community, and I send my condolences to them. However, the outcome of this incident was driven entirely by the choices and actions of Mr. Valdez that day. Mr. Valdez was given every opportunity to cooperate with officers, and had he done so, this incident would have ended much differently. What is often lost in these incidents is the impact this has on our first responders, including our dispatchers. The administrative leave that our Pueblo Police Department officers take is also extended to our dispatchers, who are likewise extremely traumatized by these incidents. We give them this administrative leave for several reasons. First, to ensure that we've had a chance to review the case and ensure we've done our due diligence, that there are no legal issues. But also to give them time to gather themselves mentally, speak with a psychologist, and decompress from what is an extremely stressful situation. For the past several days, our officers and their families have endured the stress and the false statements coming out in the media. We are here today to show a more accurate depiction of the events that occurred. Unfortunately, these incidents have become more prevalent in my career. The weak on crime legislation and failure of our system to hold criminals accountable and put them in prison where they belong has compounded this issue. I have traveled to the state capitol more times than I care to remember to testify against the soft on crime legislation that continues to be passed in our capital. This is the result. Mr. Valdez was a convicted felon awaiting sentencing, and had he been in jail, he would still be alive and would not have placed my officers in this situation. Had he obeyed the officers, he would still be alive. I have lost count of the number of officers from our department that have taken medical retirements related to PTSD from their involvement in critical incidents related to officer-involved shootings, assaults, severe accidents, and other trauma they face every day in their jobs. Our profession is certainly not perfect, but I think we've done a damn good job of transforming how we do business. My officers place themselves in harm's way daily to do a job few of you will step up to do, and I think that should earn us a little bit of benefit of the doubt. If you want this violent crime to dissipate, like those of us wearing this uniform do, then it's time to step up and let those in our capital know that criminals need to be held accountable. My cops surely are. They have cameras recording nearly every minute of their day, with the vast majority of those videos showing officers doing their job in a professional manner. I think there are a few more professions in our state that could use that same kind of oversight. Thank you for the opportunity to present the information related to this officer-involved shooting and brief you of how this situation could have resulted differently had Mr. Valdez complied with our request, and a request of how we as a community can move forward to address this type of incident happening again in the future. As the Chief of Police, I believe it to be an honor to serve the Pueblo community, and I thank you for the continued support for our officers, dispatchers, and personnel in our department as we strive to provide the highest quality service possible. Play video.
The following video audio segments you're about to see and hear are edited for the purposes of being concise and for clarity. The angle of the body-worn camera limits viewers from seeing everything that officers saw and experienced. The car camera video offers an additional view of the incident from the police car. These cameras are mounted near the rear view mirror and capture a general perspective within line of sight from that angle. Thus, other evidence provides important context for what happened and why. The preliminary information shown is based on an ongoing investigation, which continues to evolve as investigators interview witnesses, review physical and electronic records, and analyze forensic evidence. The department's understanding of the facts and circumstances may change as additional evidence is collected and analyzed. The 10th Judicial District Critical Incident Response Team, CERT, led by the Pueblo County Sheriff's Office, is investigating an officer-involved shooting, OIS, in the 1400 block of West Highway 50. On Wednesday, June 19th, 2024, at approximately 7:45 p.m., Pueblo Police received a call of a man with a weapon in the 1400 block of West Highway 50. The adult male suspect was contacted in the vehicle. The suspect ignored police commands to show his hands and stop reaching for things. Preliminary information shows that the suspect began shooting at officers. Officers returned fire, striking the suspect. One police vehicle had bullet impacts from the suspect in close proximity to our officers. Medical personnel rendered aid, and the suspect was declared deceased on scene. No officers were injured in the incident. The handgun the suspect was armed with was recovered inside the suspect's vehicle. The handgun was reported stolen in Pueblo on April 18th, 2024. Man with a weapon call.
Police dispatch, this is, how can I help you? This is not the emergency number, right? This is the non-emergency line. Okay, good. I didn't want to tie that up. I just walked out of McAllister and Pueblo off the 15. Okay. And I just walked out, and as I was walking out, there were three guys sitting in a dark black car, and they had a gun pointing out the. Were they in the parking lot? Yeah, they were in the parking lot, getting ready to go into the McAllister. They had a black and white gun pointing from the passenger seat up through the driver's side door. And I saw it, and the only reason, I saw it, and it shocked me, and I quickly got into my car. What kind of car was I in? It was a Dodge car, Dodge. And I got a license plate, black. I did. I can't. I'm a passenger. She's driving. I'm sorry. So okay, and they were pointing the gun out the driver's side or the passenger side? They were the driver's side. They were in the passenger seat, pointing it out the driver's side. And the guy getting out was talking about his gun. What were they wearing? Right? They're both in black. Their pants were sagging. Jeans, I saw black jeans, I saw the chain hanging off of them, and black sweatshirt kind of stuff. Okay, and they were parked right up at the curb, right in front of the open MRI of Pueblo. That's what my picture showed. Okay, was the male that was getting out the car, did he have the gun? I don't know. It was weird. It looked like the passenger had the gun that was sitting in the passenger seat. And then he started saying something about his gun. You get that down. And they walked into McAllister. And I quickly got my card. Okay, so they did walk into McAllister? Yeah. They were in McAllister, and we saw them sit down. Yeah, we were driving away. Are you still in that area? I'm just down the road. No. Can I get your name? Yeah. And your last name? Okay, I have a call and we're getting officers there. And you left, correct? I did. It was a little scary. Okay, I have that call and we have officers around. Thank you so much. I just didn't feel like leaving like that. Thank you for calling on us.
Radio traffic, man with a weapon.
221, 223, 1425 West Highway 50 on a male with weapon. RPC, there are three males in a black Dodge, pointing a black and white gun out at the driver's side door. License plate of 1425 West Cemetery, 221, 23.
Truck. You can hold this call, show me to the camera.
221, then all units face that weapons call. That vehicle is going to be parked in front of the MRI place next to McAllister. There are cell parties wearing baggy black jeans with chains and black sweatshirts.
Anybody mess with that?
221, it does look like they all just walked into McAllister's and then they took the gun with them.
21 to 11. Wow, where is that? 15. Oh man, I know. Alright, you guys want to try to find the vehicle first? 11. Show myself and 13 in there.
For weapons call,
I'm not seeing any dogs over here. Other than this, like down the area, see if I can find it here. 215 to 11, you ran back to McAllister's. That looks like pretty, most of the description of the photo. 223 in there, yeah. 21, just a block. I think you can have your channel back now.
I can tell you, it's 22 is clear with the non-normal radio traffic and off the exit 55.
Vehicle's gonna be a real bumper.
Channel.
Yeah, for now.
22 for weapons call, 22.
Top.
I want to repeat.
13, 21 there, yeah. Looks like he's trying to.
Viewer discretion is advised.
On your left. Hands! Hands! You're gonna get shot! Hands up! Hands up! Hands up! Hands up! Do not reach! Hands up! Don't reach! Keep your hands up! I only see one. Those ones are the other ones out of the car?
Yeah.
There's 3 that just came out of the store. They're trying to get to this car.
Hey, talk to them.
Black hoodie jeans, blue shirt, pants, and a female gray hoodie jeans.
Alright, time out real quick. Stay right there. Just stay where you're at.
Hands up! Stop reaching! Stop reaching! Show me your hands! He's reaching, refusing to show his hands right now. Watch out for crossfire.
Get your hands up.
If you have anything in your hands, you're gonna get shot. Show me your hands. Put your hands up. Put your hands up.
Video slowed to 20%. Suspect shoots at officers. Officer 2, dash cam footage. Video has no sound. Video slowed to 20% with zoom. Police are required by law to give a clear verbal warning of his or her intent to use firearms or other deadly physical force, unless to do so would place the officer at risk of injury or create a risk of injury or death to others. Recovered stolen handgun from suspect's vehicle. Bullet impacts to patrol car. Bullet impact hood of patrol vehicle. Bullet impact roof of patrol vehicle. All involved officers were placed on administrative leave per standard protocol. The deceased suspect will be identified by the Pueblo County coroner after appropriate notifications. The coroner's office will determine the cause and manner of death. In the next several months, the 10th Judicial District CERT will conduct an investigation and analyze this incident. We will interview any new witnesses who may come forward and complete any forensic tests. The Pueblo Police Department's Internal Affairs Division will conduct an internal investigation to determine if our officers' actions were consistent with department policy. The criminal investigation conducted by the 10th Judicial District CERT will be forwarded to the Pueblo County District Attorney for review and consideration of any criminal charges. The 10th Judicial District CERT is comprised of the 10th Judicial District Attorney's Office, Colorado Bureau of Investigation, Colorado State Patrol, Pueblo County Sheriff's Office, and Pueblo Police Department. The job of a police officer is difficult and dangerous. Although we train and work hard to de-escalate volatile situations, officers must act, sometimes in a split second. The decision to use lethal force is not something we take lightly. It is tragic for all involved. Thank you for taking the time to view this critical incident community briefing.
I want to thank everybody for coming today. If there's any questions, we'll take a few just before you leave.
I just had a real quick question. I was wondering, the officers that were placed on administrative leave, I was just wondering if they remain on leave or whether they've since returned to duty.
We'll let you answer
The question was whether the officers that were placed on administrative leave still remain on administrative leave. Several of them do. We had one officer who did not fire their sidearm that has returned to work after their administrative leave period. We anticipate the majority of the officers returning shortly.
And how many officers is that? That was placed
Total
on?
of 6 officers and 1 dispatcher received administrative leave.
And then how long is administrative leave, or who determines that?
It's determined in policy. Non-involved officers on scene get 3 days of administrative leave, which is what the dispatcher also received, and then involved officers receive roughly 7 days. It depends on how soon we can get them in to see the psychologist before they return to work, but roughly 7 days. If they need additional time, then there's obviously mechanisms through workman's comp in order for us to extend that.
Chief Miller, you mentioned that the suspect, Robert Valdez, was a convicted felon that was awaiting sentencing. What were the charges or charge that he was awaiting sentencing on?
Drug distribution.
You also talked a little bit about the broken down system, talking about legislation efforts. What particular legislation does this community need in order to make the impacts that you would like to see change?
A lot. What needs to happen is there's got to be accountability for criminal behavior. And right now in the state of Colorado, that's not happening. The laws have decriminalized felony charges, making them misdemeanors. In Colorado, in most jails, you can't take misdemeanors to jail, so you end up writing a ticket, or worst case scenario, you don't even give them a ticket, you refer charges through the DA's office for review. So they commit a crime and they walk away with nothing. That doesn't breed behavior of people that want to comply with the law. I think that everybody needs to stay in jail for the rest of their lives, but when you commit a crime, you should go to jail that day. I don't know why that's such a hard concept for some people to grasp. Don't break the law if you don't want to go to jail. And some of those people need to stay in jail. The incident where we had our SWAT team out with the person that was menacing people with a machete, for that person to not still be in jail, it just boggles my mind what kind of society we live in where you can menace people with a deadly weapon and be walking the streets within 48 hours. It doesn't make any sense. And as long as this stuff continues to happen with the lack of accountability for criminals in our state, this is what we're going to end up with. People that commit crimes are criminals, and they need to go to jail. It shouldn't be as controversial to say that as it is. And we need our legislators to pass laws that make that happen so that our state can become safer. You know, I live in this community. My family lives in this community. I want Pueblo to be a safe community. And we bust our butts every day to make that happen. But we get no support from the law. We have to write tickets and let people go every time. They don't do any time in jail.
Mayor Graham also mentioned that this was the 14th homicide this weekend, not in relation to that OIS.
Right.
Why are you holding this press conference today to specifically talk about this incident? You mentioned that there were some allegations going around in the media.
There were some allegations that came out that our officers didn't have the right vehicle when they contacted the person in this officer-involved shooting. There was also some information stating that he didn't have a weapon, that he hadn't done anything to deserve to be fired upon by our officers. Clearly, that is not true. Our officers don't get paid to get shot. They don't get paid to get punched. They don't get paid to get spit on. And they have every right to defend themselves, and that's what they did in this situation. I feel really bad for the family because they have to suffer the consequences of the actions of Mr. Valdez. But if you obey the commands of officers, this kind of tragedy doesn't happen. We're given lawful authority to do certain things. And if the lawful authority to do those things is stripped from us to the point where people don't think they have to listen to the police, there's something wrong with what we're doing in our society.
Are you still receiving assistance from the FBI and looking towards more crime combating technology to help you further cut down on these?
Absolutely. We're looking at a couple of different things. There's a program that Aurora Police Department has called Aurora Saves, which is a violent crime interruption program. We are looking to start something similar here in Pueblo. The FBI is still a major partner, as is the DA's office, the U.S. Attorney's office, the Pueblo County Sheriff's Office, and we're working to try to deal with these issues on a variety of levels. But again, we got to have the tools to make that happen. We just truly do. Justin.
While obviously things are still happening, homicides and so on. I know you mentioned previously that police have been more proactive, and Mayor Graham, obviously you've made some executive orders and so on that you mentioned yourself. Do you think that those things still have made a difference?
I think they are helping. Certainly the changes to our hiring process through the mayor's office and Mayor Graham have been helpful. We have 17 individuals in our training pipeline, which is the largest number at any one time we've had in a number of years. So those processes are helping us onboard people quicker, which is important. And some of the changes that we've made to create the impact team and the DICE teams and those things are having a positive impact. But again, I mean, I don't know how else to say this. Until the people give us the tools and hold criminals accountable, it's like spitting in the wind. It's just very difficult for us to have a massive impact in our communities, and it's not just Pueblo. It's across the state where we have this kind of violent crime. It's not going down. And one of the governor's goals, and I laud his goal, is to be one of the top 10 safest states in the nation. We're 44th. I mean, and if you don't give law enforcement the tools and the expectation in our communities that if you break the law, you're going to jail, I don't know how we ever reach number 10.
You mentioned that you've been traveling to and from the Capitol frequently to testify. Have you had any interaction with legislators, congressmen, senators? Has there been any particular interest in the situation of the concerns that you've been expressing?
You know, I have, and I'm certainly not going to name names. I have talked to a number of legislators, some of them from our community, who in certain ways are supportive and helpful. But I would say that in general at the state legislature, it's a milk-warm response to what we're talking about. And it's not just Chris Noller that's going up there. I mean, there's chiefs of police from all over the state that are traveling to go there. It's a 2.5-hour drive for me to get there. And then I sit up there and testify, basically get ignored by many of the people on the panel, and then drive 2.5 hours back home. It's very frustrating.
And then, Chief, how many officer-involved shootings have happened so far this year?
2, I believe.
2.
Yes, ma'am.
Is that an increase
You know, it's probably about what we've averaged over the last few years at this point, to be honest with you. Yep.
Last question from me, but you mentioned in a couple weeks you're going to have a new crime center go live.
Tomorrow.
Tomorrow. Can you talk about those efforts and highlight if that can help or will help?
Absolutely. You know, the mayor's office, the city council has really helped us a lot with giving us a lot of money through ARPA dollars and general fund dollars. We've been able to get a lot of grants, or a grant to help us with our shot spotter system. That system is finally coming to fruition. It will go live at 10 a.m. tomorrow. Some of the advantages that system provides us is in certain areas where we have the information, we can pass real-time information onto our officers as they're responding to calls for service, which is important, not only to protect our officers, but also to protect our community. You know, there's instances where officers show up on scene and they don't know a person's armed, but there's video that we find later that had we had access to that video moments before, we could have let them know that they were armed. On the other hand, I've seen cases across the country where officers roll up to what they believe is a weapons call and it turns out it's not. And having that information ahead of time will allow them to understand the broader picture of what's going on when they arrive. It'll also allow us to, I think, have a better connection with our community and be able to use the resources that we have, the limited resources that we have, in a better way.
I was just wondering if you could detail a little bit about what kind of technology is involved with that real-time crime center versus like your shot spotter tech that you've already implemented?
Yeah, absolutely. So part of the system, it will allow us to live stream our body-worn camera footage from our officers. It will allow us to live stream drone footage that we have from our drone operators when those drones are flying. It will allow us to integrate systems with civilian properties, whether that's a business or a home. If they have a web-based surveillance system and they allow us to have access to it, we can utilize those cameras as well. Has advanced license plate readers and obviously the shot spotter system. And it's overlaid with a software program that allows us to bring all those into one area. And we get a call, they can click on a button that shows them where that call is, zooms in, shows them where cameras are located. If individuals don't want to give us access to their cameras, they can always register their cameras with us, and we can put that, hey, there is a camera here, we need to send somebody out there and see if we can get footage from it, which will also help us in conducting investigations after the fact. So.
Awesome. And last from me, just back on the subject of the thing on the 19th, is there a ballpark estimation of how long the CERT investigation will take?
Well, it takes roughly 9 to 10 months for that to come to fruition.
All right.
And then you keep saying the suspect Valdez, and you keep saying the name, and in the video it said that the Pueblo County coroner will identify the deceased suspect. Do we have?
It's my understanding they have done that.
Okay, so do we have confirmation now that it is?
Dustin Taylor can get that for you,
Okay,
Captain
perfect.
Taylor.